The Simpsons is a property that needs no introduction. The franchise became a cultural phenomenon upon its inception, and since then has had countless merch surrounding the iconic family, and naturally, video games for The Simpsons were inevitable. It all started with Konami's arcade game in March of 1991, followed by the NES games, Game Boy and Game Gear games, Genesis and Super Nintendo games, and even the infamous PS1 Simpsons Wrestling and the abysmal Simpsons Skateboarding on the PS2. The property had games across several console generations, and sadly, the majority have been quite disappointing. With the popularity of Sega's Crazy Taxi, both Electronic Arts and developer Radical Entertainment took on the task of making a Crazy Taxi style game within the Simpsons universe, and what we got was The Simpsons Road Rage. So, was this a game that showcased The Simpsons could finally have a good game?
Up and at them!
Or was it better to jump out of the vehicle and avoid a fare altogether?
Oh, this video game sucks.
Let's find out. The Simpsons Road Rage starts off with an intro that has Bart playing a video game, and Homer tells him to get off so that he can watch some TV. While watching the news, Mr. Burns apparently has launched an initiative for new radioactive buses that drive themselves, and well, doesn't quite look that safe at all.
Please kill me. That poor man. I hope someone does kill him.
So apparently, Homer and all of Springfield decide to start their own taxi service to raise enough money to shut down Mr. Burns. The intro definitely nails the feel of the show, and there are small cutscene snippets that occur after each run ends, with Mr. Burns saying something to you. I do wish there were more cutscenes with the characters throughout, but the story is kept at a minimum to focus primarily on the gameplay. That being said though, there is an ending you can acquire.
Just get to the game already!
The Simpsons Road Rage is, as mentioned, a Crazy Taxi clone. You take control of your favorite Simpsons character, pick up the various cast of iconic characters, and bring them to their destinations. Rules are simple. You have a set amount of time to start your run, and you must pick up anyone looking for a ride, highlighted in the blue dome indicator. You will then have a small time limit to get that rider to their destination, and once you do, you'll earn a money bonus, as well as a time bonus depending on how quickly you get there. You either can get a fast rating, average rating, or a slow rating. A fast rating gives you a $100 bonus as well as 3 seconds added to your clock. An average rating nets you a $50 bonus and 1 second added to the clock, while the slow rating will give you a $25 bonus but no time added to the clock for your run. Cash is constantly increasing as you take your rider to their destination, but obviously getting them there as fast as possible is key. You gain more money depending on how much time is remaining on the delivery clock as well. Occasionally, you will get a special mission to complete your fare. Either you will get an avoid traffic side objective or a destroy objects one. The avoid traffic one allows you up to 3 mistakes to collide with traffic without failing, and if you get to the destination without failing, you will get the safe trip rating bonus of $250 plus 5 seconds to the overall clock. When the destroy object side mission appears for your fare, you will need to collide into X number of objects, and should you do so while dropping your fare off on time, you will get the road rage bonus of $1,000 plus a 5-second bonus. Taking advantage of these side missions for extra cash is essential. It's worth noting that there are difficulty options within the game's options. The main difference is that the higher the difficulty, the less time you'll start with on the clock, but you will net more money for each drop-off successfully made. Now, while the timer will be your enemy, so will Mr. Burns and his radioactive buses out there. Mr. Burns gives you a heads up that he's about to collide with you by speaking when he's nearby. If he hits you, the issue is more that he slows you down drastically, and every second counts when delivering passengers. The radioactive buses are also pretty overzealous and seem like a drunk buffoon is handling the bus. I do like that there's somewhat of a threat out there to evade when you're delivering customers. In terms of controls, The Simpsons Road Rage has incredibly responsive ones, while keeping it very simple for anyone to pick up and play. The A button is the gas, the B button is the handbrake, the X button is your brake and reverse, the L trigger looks behind you, and the R trigger initiates the horn. You can also change the controls to an alternative configuration where the R trigger is the gas instead. You can also use the C stick up or down to control the gas and brake respectively, as this was actually a common implementation during the 6th gen. Initially, you will only have a small handful of characters, but as you keep earning money, you can unlock more characters and destinations to drive around in. You see, The Simpsons Road Rage is an arcade game at heart, but as stated earlier, there is an end technically, and while tackling that goal, you will unlock more the game has to offer in the process. The end goal is to earn a total of $1 million, which will actually showcase an ending to watch. During your playthrough, you will bank the money at the end of your run and see how much you need to accumulate for the next unlockable. Now, what's interesting is that once you've reached the amount of cash to unlock something, you will get to choose whether it's a character or a new location. I love this style of approach as it gives the player freedom on how to progress through the game.
The meter has been running since I saw you.
Hello there. Please take me to the power plant office so I can collect this month's bribe.
That is okay with me.
Now, the characters all have vehicles that pertain specifically to them, and as a fan of the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons, this game was clearly made by a team of die-hard fans. For example, Homer has his usual family sedan, but can also unlock and use the vehicle he created alongside his estranged half-brother from the episode Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Or you can even unlock the Mr. Plow vehicle for Homer from another iconic episode.
Plow, that's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow.
Bart uses the soapbox car racer that he made in an earlier episode in the series, Barney is playable using the Plow King vehicle, and even Moe uses his sedan that has a panda popping out from the trunk, which would be the same panda that he smuggled in an episode of the show. This attention to detail is spot on for diehard fans of the show, while still being humorous to those who never even watched The Simpsons.
Look where you're going, you idiot!
Each vehicle also handles differently. While there's no stat breakdown in the game to see, each person's vehicle has different weight, acceleration, top speed, and handling. Homer's family sedan is an all-around vehicle, while the Mr. Plow vehicle is very heavy. Apu's sports car, Snake's little bandit, and Professor Frank's flying car are by far the fastest cars in the game, and if you can master the handbrake with these vehicle speeds, you'll be able to do quite some work netting some sweet moolah on your runs. In terms of locations, there are 6 fairly massive levels to drive around in within Springfield. Initially, Evergreen Terrace is the only available stage, but you can unlock more as you play. There's the Entertainment District, the Springfield Dam, the Nuclear Power Plant, Downtown, and the Springfield Mountains. Each area is pretty expansive and loaded with fan service. For example, you can come across Truckosaurus in the downtown level when driving through the stadium, or Area 51A where there is a UFO in the hangar, or you can even bust through the Duff Brewery in the Entertainment District. There's also the Springfield Gorge you can jump over in the Springfield Mountains level, which is very much iconic from a specific season finale. These fan service spots are just on point and make exploring each level carefully an absolute joy.
Now that's driving. I still ain't tipping yet, I'm Scottish.
Aside from the main road rage mode, which is the meat and bones of the game, there are other modes here as well. There's a mission mode which has you tackling 10 mini missions essentially, and you have to complete the objective at hand. These can range from getting to your destination without Mr. Burns hitting you, to destroying X number of objects in a very fast time frame. They're fun, even if somewhat challenging at times, but there's only 10 missions and all can be beaten within 30 minutes. Additionally, there's the Sunday Drive mode, which as the name insinuates, is all about just free roaming any of the 6 stages, trying to discover secret locations and Easter eggs all around. Then there's the head-to-head, where it's a 1v1 multiplayer mode. You can choose what amount you want for players to play up until $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000. Every rider picked up and delivered earns $1,000 to their till. If one player has the passenger, the opposing player can ram into them to steal them and try to deliver them instead. This constant back and forth makes for a surprisingly good multiplayer mode that's a blast with the right crowd. And if all that wasn't enough, there are cheats you can mess around with as well, like making the characters 2D cutouts, slow motion car jumps, driving at nighttime, more camera views, and more. Additionally, I mentioned this in my more GameCube Easter eggs episode, but depending on the day you play this game, you can unlock holiday themed character and vehicles to play as, like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. There is also a GBA version of this that released almost 2 years later, and is quite solid. I've actually covered this in my GameCube Games on GBA episode a while back, which I will link in the description if interested to hear more about that version. As much as this Crazy Taxi clone does so much right, if not better than the game it's based off of, there are some aspects I would have liked to see ironed out. First off, I do wish that there were different colored indicators surrounding pedestrians looking for a ride to indicate if they were a longer fare or a shorter fare to pick up. Also, the collision detection can be a bit off at times. There were moments where the vehicle would collide with another vehicle or a corner of a building that really shouldn't have, typically within moments of trying to cut corners. The other issue is that I do wish there was a stat breakdown for each vehicle before choosing them. While I like that every vehicle is different, I'd prefer seeing a breakdown for which is faster, handles better, etc. The other thing is that the mission mode, like I stated, is only 10 missions long, meaning that it really won't last you for much longer, and there's not much to do with that once you've beaten it. It's not like there's any leaderboards or high scores to beat, it's just you beat them and that's it. There definitely could have been more missions overall to help flesh out this mode more. The last thing is just how long the game takes to reach the end goal. You will have beaten the game essentially when acquiring a total of $1 million. Once you've found a good run, you can repeat a line over and over and net over 50 grand in roughly about an hour of gameplay. If you do the math, it takes essentially 20 hours of solid play to see the ending. While it's a lengthy goal to acquire, many may not stick with it long enough to see the ending technically. The game is a blast to play, don't get me wrong, but I just remember how much I stuck with this game to complete it, and by the end, I felt like I was getting pretty fatigued going for that $1 million goal. Visually, being an early release on the GameCube, The Simpsons Road Rage does a great job of capturing the look and feel of the show itself. The color palette is rich and vibrant with nicely detailed character models, as well as well-crafted locations iconic from the rich lore of the show itself. The levels are brimming with traffic and pedestrians, which you can hilariously run over and see them bounce around. Objects are mostly destructible in the environments like trees and street poles, as well as other various elements, and it just adds to this lively nature to the game. Even the texture work is quite rich with a little bit of a blend of cel shading at points, especially with the vehicles, while the draw distance is great. All this while running at 60 frames per second, making it look buttery smooth in action. While it's nowhere near the show-stopping visual all that Luigi's Mansion or Star Wars Rogue Leader set on launch day, it's still very much a nice-looking 6th-gen game that does precisely what it sets out to do while performing smoothly in the process. In terms of audio, The Simpsons Road Rage does an excellent job bringing in the voiceover cast to record their lines, and the game just does The Simpsons property justice in this regard. I love that every character has hilarious dialogue for their delivery, as well as some more iconic lines they've stated in the show.
Hurry up, I ain't got all day.
I want to go to the box factory. Yay, boxes!
Just shut up and let me drive, okay?
The audio variety is strong, and each vehicle having their own engine sounds as well as horn sounds is a nice touch. Even when your run ends, the game over motif is different for every character you play as, which is a nice additional touch to detail. The music also does the job quite well. While back in the day I was wanting more of that Offspring soundtrack from Crazy Taxi, The Simpsons Road Rage has composed music that really fits the game and is quite memorable. The sound effects overall also lend itself well to give this nice arcade-style experience. The audio package here really is on point for a Simpsons game, and there's lots of laughter to be had while playing it.
I hope you didn't puke.
Hey, thanks for the lift.
What part of get in don't you understand?
Will you take me to the airport? I like the suitcase ride.
Damn straight! Please don't sue! Touchdown!
My cat's breath smells like cat food.
The Simpsons Road Rage does something we hadn't seen before since March of 1991. It's a game that does the Simpsons license right. While yes, it is a clear-as-day clone of Sega's Crazy Taxi, and so much so that there was legal battles involved, what's here does it so well while making it a more content-rich game than the one it is based off of. While the end game is very much a grind to hit that $1 million goal, it's one of those games you can either play for 5 minutes or even a few hours. With its hilarious dialogue, easy to pick up and play gameplay, nice visuals, and that one more run addictive aspect, The Simpsons Road Rage is a great arcade-style game that I cannot recommend enough to any Simpsons fans. Even if you're not a fan of The Simpsons, you will very much enjoy what is here. I also want to give a quick shout out to the GCG Nation enthusiasts. Local S'mores Pop-Tart, Retro Wolf, and Alejandro Mendoza. If you really enjoy the content and are interested in further supporting the channel, click that join button, and for $2 a month, you'll get early access to videos, membership shoutouts and videos, and exclusive icons that I made that go next to your username when commenting. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next episode, GCG Nation.